Vice President Joe Biden doesn't seem to be too worried about the coming midterm elections. Here's what he was quoted as saying last week. The reports of the death of the Democratic Party have been greatly exaggerated. The day after the election, there will be a Democratic majority in the House and a Democratic majority in the Senate. If it wasn't illegal, I would make book on it. Well, we're looking very closely at the data, Mr. Vice President. At least at this point, we don't see many trends in the data which would tend to support your optimism. Let's look first at our generic ballot for the week that just ended. Still a Republican lead, 3 points, 47 to 44. These are among registered voters. This is the fourth week in a row, in fact, in which Republicans have led Democrats. Now, I mentioned the registered voter thing explicitly because our data suggests that among likely voters, the Republicans are going to be doing a lot better. In other words, the Republicans have a real chance to best the Democrats when it comes to turnout this year. For one thing, look at our enthusiasm variable. The percent of Republicans this past week who told us they were very enthusiastic about voting is 25 points higher than the percent of Democrats who said the same thing. That ties as the highest enthusiasm gap that we have found. And although the gap can vary somewhat, every single week that we have asked about enthusiasm this year, and that goes all the way back to March, Republicans have had the advantage. So there's a clear sign here that Republicans are the ones that are revved up to get out and vote this fall, not the Democrats, and that makes a critical difference in a low turnout election like we usually have in the midterms. Also, President Obama's job approval rating is sinking. Last week it was at 43%. That was the weekly average. We have some indication that approval ratings for a president can move between August and Election Day, but no president that we have looked at in recent years has been able to move back up to 50% or higher if he was down in the 40% range or even lower at this point in August. In other words, historically, the odds are against President Obama's job approval rating jumping way back up to 50% or higher, and that's important because when a president's job approval rating is below 50, the odds are high that his party is going to lose a lot of seats in the fall elections. Now again, we would say many things can change between now and the election. Maybe Vice President Biden will be proven right. Maybe his party will hold on to majorities in both houses of Congress. But at this point, we would say the indications are that we're looking at more of a wave-type election where the Republicans are destined to do very well. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.